Hey guys, it's Warzone, and welcome to my first episode of my F1 2020 My Team Career Mode. I will also be doing a driver career mode sometime in the near future, and this part's just going to be showing me setting up my driver and my team. Here I'm just going to change the coloring of my helmet, make it the color I want it to be and how I want it to look. This is the race suit that I'm going to have or that I'm going to use, and my teammate will also be using. What you're about to see here is a podium celebration right there, the movement, and then there's some just quick overview of just everything with the gloves and all that. And that's something new they add to this game, where you can I think you can buy just different podium emotes. And here we're going to be entering our team name, and I have or then we're gonna go with WZ for Warzone, Chevrolet Racing, and we are just kind of like a type. We'll just call it like a sponsor of the car, even though we're not really on it. And our first sponsor we're gonna choose is Pacifico because they have the highest payout. And would you look at that? There's a Chevrolet engine right there. So we're gonna be choosing that, and we're gonna be taking our teammate will be Jack Aiken because he's the best option we have here, and I want the best teammate possible, as well as the Chevrolet engine, which is pretty good. And yeah, we're basically done here as we just kind of. Oh wait, we still need to design the car. I forgot about that and the badge. And we're going to be choosing this type of paint scheme right there. Just kind of previewing all of them I can choose from. And we're just going to be changing it to like a blue and black car. I personally think it looks pretty nice, but you guys can tell me what you guys think in the comments. We can change the livery at any point we want, but if I'm going to make any livery changes, I'm probably going to be changing it at the end of the year. And I was just here just trying out what white looked like, but not really like it. Here's the team badge, editing options. There's a lot of options from choose from, and I was kind of toying or messing with a lot of them, and came up with one. I'm going to be using this symbol, and we're going to have this like background right there, which is like a upside down house shape. I don't know how else to describe that, but that's going to be our background banner. And we will be going with a full 22 race season. You can shorten it, I think like 15 and 10. You can have a 15 race season and a 10 race season, but it will be going the full 22 for the whole time, I think. And here are just some quick setting adjustments to make sure everything's right. I'm still playing around with the AI difficulty. I still haven't gotten it concrete, but I think I have a good option. But as the season goes on, I will be turning it up as I get better and more used to the game. So I guess now at the very start we have an interview going on.
Okay, we're live in 5, 4, 3.
Hello folks, and welcome to the HQ of Formula One's newest team. We've been invited backstage to gain an exclusive insight into what could be one of the most exciting entries in the sport for many years. Now, we've seen a number of new teams enter the sport over the last decade, amongst their number Manor, Caterham, HRT and of course Haas. And while some have proved to be successful, others have morphed into different teams and some have disappeared completely. What marks this team out though as being something different is that its owner is also its driver. Now, there's a rich history of that in Formula 1 too. Sir Jack Brabham, John Surtees, Graham Hill and Bruce McLaren all drove their own cars in the sport, but it has become increasingly rare in recent years. What's very special about this team though is that while the team itself is new to Formula 1, so too is its driver and owner.
Whatever happens
So
this
answering
season,
these questions
you've
here
already
will
made history.
affect like the morale of
Do
your
you feel
team,
up
and
to the
I
mammoth
think
task
with the
of both
other
managing and
series
driving for a
I've
Formula
been
1
watching, you can also, depending on how you answer the questions, get like starting upgrades to different the different departments such as like the chassis, aero, engine, and what is it? Oh yes, durability.
Every team needs two drivers, but what was it that drew you to your teammates? No one aims to finish bottom of the table. Who's the team you're aiming to beat? How are you expecting the car to feel out on track? The other teams now have years of experience, both on and off the track. How are you planning to catch up to them? Overtaking is a key part of this sport. How have you ensured that your car can take advantage of each opportunity that comes your way? And finally, which of your new departments are you most proud of?
Well, that's about all we've got time for here. We will see how this fledgling team fares in its first Grand Prix.
Okay, great, thank you. That's a wrap.
And here we are
This
in
is
the
where you
main
can view
screen.
our current facilities and the effects they are having on the business.
It's very
You
different
can
from
also invest some of our
last
cash
year's
into
game.
upgrades for these facilities.
They've totally just changed everything here. But this part's pretty cool because you can just see each of the departments, and we can upgrade each part of them, and each of the departments will advance as we move through the career. And they added the actual you can get actual money in the game, or in-game money, as well as the R&D points, and you have to use that to upgrade the car. and well, not the car, but the facilities. The car is just the R&D points. As you can see here, I'm just gonna freeze frame here on the video, but we are not actually the worst team. We are ahead of Alpha Tauri, Alfa Romeo, Haas, and Williams. I think something to do with that is that Mercedes power unit really helps to boost our car up the grid. So at least we're not going to be starting at the worst team, so maybe we can actually score some points. Here's a new activity page where you can just choose different options to do and take up a certain amount of days. And I think they can just like boost morale of different departments and also improve the skills of your second driver, as well as some other stuff, but I'm not totally sure what that is. Here's just the R&D page where we can upgrade different parts of the car. So you can see we already have 2 on the chassis and then 2 on the aero, and I think I got those from just answering the questions. And here we're just buying an engine upgrade, and we also bought an aero one. And now as we go through the calendar, it's time to go to the car reveal. Now I do think that looked pretty cool, and that made the car look really nice, as you can also see here. I do think the car looks pretty good, and if you just leave your comments down below on what you guys think of the livery. And we're just gonna head to the race weekend now, and we're just gonna start off with qualifying. And now we're at qualifying here, and we're just gonna try and set the fastest lap we possibly can. And I think we might have a chance of getting out of Q3 today. And let's see what we can do. And here we're just gonna go to the end of our flying lap here for the first lap of our qualifying session. It felt alright as I was driving through, and let's see where we end up for our first lap. And we are in P10, just behind Jack Aitken in P9, so it appears we have good speed. And we go for our second lap as we are in the red here, our second and final lap in qualifying. Let's see if we can improve as we dropped all the way to P18. And can we get out of Q3? And when we just stay in P18 here, that was not the fastest lap we could have put together. And now we can see the qualifying results for the people getting out of Q3. And we can see Jack Aitken, our teammate, has gotten out of Q3, and we move on to Q2. So that car's probably pretty fast then. We just kind of messed up a little there. And here's just the team acclaim. We've gotten to level 2. Which means we can put another sponsor on after this race weekend, so we can get extra money.
No more testing, no more practice. This is the real deal, and it's make or break here at Albert Park, home of the Australian Grand Prix since 1996, and home to round 1 of this year's Formula One World Championship. So here we are at Albert Park Circuit. 3.3 miles of public roads, closed for the weekend of course, make for a bumpy surface with little undulation. There are 16 corners around the lake with the best passing opportunities coming at turn 1 and turn 3. Can Mercedes start with victory in their bid to win a 7th consecutive Constructors' title? Could Ferrari or Red Bull establish an advantage early on? And with 22 cars on the grid, how quickly can the new team find their footing? Well, it's great to be back, Anthony Davidson. We've got a lot to talk about this year.
That's right, Crofty. It felt like a long winter, but it's good to finally be back. I have to think the usual suspects will battle it out at the front, but there are always going to be some teething problems early on in the season, so whoever can keep on top of their issues will have the advantage today.
As I mentioned earlier, we're up to 11 teams this season, with a new entry run by, well, of all things, an owner-driver. That's something we haven't seen in this sport since Hector Raback over 4 decades ago. So how are they looking so far?
It's hard to imagine how a small operation like that could survive in the ruthless world of Formula One, and yet here they are, first ever race looking surprisingly strong. But there are no points for qualifying. Let's see how they fare in the Grand Prix proper.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Albon, Max Verstappen and Norris, Sainz, Ricciardo, Ocon and Sergio Perez, Stroll, Giovinazzi, Kimi Raikkonen and Aitken, Vettel, Magnussen, Daniel Kvyat and the owner-driver, Grosjean, Gasly, Russell and Nicholas Latifi. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track and get this Grand Prix underway.
And we are here at the starting grid for the Austrian Grand Prix, driving our very own Formula One car as we go to the 5 red lights of the Australia Grand Prix. And here we go. We get a pretty good start here. Kevin Magnussen seems to slow down here as he tries to pull around our teammate Jack Aitken, and we dive down the inside of Jack Aitken and the Alpha. We touch our front tire to one of their rears, and we end up losing a lot of time there. And I think there's a Ferrari way back here, which is must have a really bad qualifying. We dive down the inside of Kevin Magnussen and almost our teammate there as we kind of push Kevin Magnussen out wide through the corner, and we are up into P16 now as our teammate has dropped down, or I think he either dropped down 1 position or stayed in P15. I don't totally remember, as we're just falling behind our teammate right now. We might be planning to try and make a move here as we go along, as we catch up in the braking zone here. We get a decent exit now. Jack Aitken seems to be going very slow for some reason. We go to the inside of this long left-hander here, and we're still going side by side into this like short hand corner where and then we have to carry tons of momentum out of that corner and into the net and then to the next one to get a good run off. And we seem to have gotten ahead of Jack Aitken, who is starting on the medium tires. So that's maybe why he's slow right now, because those tires take a little longer to grip in than the softs that mostly everyone else is running, as we were right behind a Ferrari, Sebastian Vettel, as we were about to complete the first lap of the race. And it seems that the Ferrari is struggling here, but I do not know where Charles Leclerc is, so maybe it's just Vettel. Now as we go from lap 2 to lap number 9, Vettel still has not gone past Raikkonen here, as we were kind of able to catch up through these last few corners here. And as we go into the hairpin, almost tapping Sebastian Vettel, he goes into the pits, and I believe other cars are pitting as well, and that puts us up into P12 right now. And then Max Verstappen's coming out here. No, we almost smashed into him going into the first turn, and I had to go off the track a little bit there to make sure we don't hit Verstappen. That could have been very bad. And me, as well as a decent amount of other cars right ahead of us, are not pitting, and Verstappen's right on our tail here. He's in a much faster car, so he should be getting around us very shortly here. check behind us to see where Verstappen is. We catch up into the braking zone to Kimi Räikkönen. We get on our curves a little bit there, and we go a little wide, almost hit the wall. We have to slow down a bit, and we were going a little wide into the corner. Max Verstappen just steamed by us on those hard tires, or medium tire. And I think those are hards. And now we cut later on to lap number 10, to the very end of that same lap, and we are taking our own pit stop just behind Kimi Räikkönen, as I think we might have hit his rear end a little bit there. And hopefully we can get a pretty fast pit stop, and we might have a chance of jumping one of the cars ahead of us, one or two in the pit lane. Pretty good stop here, 2.1. We're held up a little bit by Ricardo, but Räikkönen is behind us now, so we were able to jump him. And as we exit the pit lane here, we're going to come out in P17. Our teammate Jack Aitken will be going a little longer than us in this race, because he did start on those medium tires as we switched to the hards. And now Daniel Kvyat is going down our inside on the DRS straight, and he completes the move even before the turn, as we slot in right, as we get right in behind, right to his rear of his car there. As we go into the hairpin, we're going to have DRS on him now. Let's see if we have the speed to catch up to him, but I don't think we do. We're actually gaining on a little bit, and then you can see Jack Aitken on our inside there, just coming out of the pit lane. So we are able to jump him, pitting early. But he will have fresher tires than us, and as Sebastian Vettel's out of the race, and a safety car is out. And you will be able to see him on the right-hand side of your screen there as we just pass him. And we have a safety car now. That doesn't happen too much in last year's game, but it's happening in the first race of this year's. And here we're just going to cut to the very end of the safety car because it's very boring just watching us roll around. As we're starting to get up to speed now, we get a little loose getting out of the hairpin there, which slows us down a lot and creates a gap to Daniel Kvyat. So we're a little behind there as we activate the ERS, as well as go into rich mix, and then our teammate Jack Aitken is right behind. He's on fresher tires, so he's going to have a high chance of passing us as he goes to our inside here. And we're not going to defend that. We're going to pull out. We're not going to slow. I'm not going to slow each other down because I want to do what's best for the team. And right now, Jack Aitken is definitely going to be faster as you see him pulling away very quickly from us. As we go on to one lap later, we go a little wide on the curbing there of the corner, and Kimi Räikkönen's actually catching up to us as he goes around the outside of us, and we're going to hit off the curb there, get pushed back out onto the track, and we're going to kind of force out Kimi Räikkönen there as we continue on to the last few corners and into the hairpin. We're still staying within 1 second to Jack Aitken, which is what we want, but I don't think we have the speed to get really that much closer. And yellow flags up ahead. But something has gone wrong. I wonder what has happened here. And it's Alexander Albon in the Red Bull. He's out of the race. So me and Jack Aitken are up into P13 and P14 in the first race. So we're doing pretty good today. And as we go to the last lap, nothing really happened in between those few laps. But now Kimi Räikkönen has got the speed to catch up to us. I leave him the space. We go a bit wide on the curbing and we lose the car. We almost hit. I think we might have scraped against Kimi Räikkönen there as we touch again going into the last corner. I'm defending as hard as I can. I want to keep this position. And he tries to go on the outside. Tries to go around the outside there as I try and squeeze him out. But we were able to put the power down into the last corner and before Kimi Räikkönen, and we were able to finish in P13 of or P14 of our first race. Jack Aitken finishing in P13, and I think that's a really successful for our first ever race as a team. As we also take driver of the day.
Yet another historic win under their belts. Well done to the team at Mercedes. Anthony, tell me, what was it that helped them achieve this success?
Without a doubt, the safety car changed everything today. The key to their success was keeping calm and reacting to the situation quickly. We've seen teams in the past throw away wins because they were too hesitant, but here they were decisive, and that's allowed them to take the advantage.
And for the victory celebrations, a real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today.
As you can see from the podium, Lewis Hamilton has won the race, then it went Bottas, and then Verstappen. And Giovinazzi in the Alfa Romeo actually ended up picking up points there in 10th place. Picked up 1 point. And then, of course, the Williams rounded out the back of the field with Latifi finishing last of the finishing cars. And Perez not the best race. And both the McLaren score points, but Leclerc did not seem to have any issues, and he finished 4th, and Daniel Ricciardo also finished in the points as well. And we're going to be heading over to the constructors standings really soon. To see where each constructor or team has or is, and Mercedes is in first with the 1-2, with McLaren in second, and then Red Bull, because Alex Albon did not score any points. And then we've got Ferrari, Renault, Racing Point, Alfa Romeo, AlphaTauri, us, Haas, and Williams.
The fans really seem to enjoy that. You made it look easy. You gained a lot of positions during the race, didn't you?
Here are just some more interviews we will be doing, which we'll do this, basically be doing the same thing as the one we did earlier in the episode.
Your teammate today? Great. Well, that's everything.
This just kind of shows our team acclaim going up, which is great because the higher team acclaim, the more sponsors we can get, because at certain thresholds or levels of it, we are able to unlock another sponsor, and as well as this shows how much money we've gained during the race weekend. And here, I think it shows just an upgrade has been completed, and we have an activity we can do to improve our team. I think we're gonna choose the. I don't really remember what we did. I think we're gonna do like the sponsor fundraiser thing. I'm pretty sure. Totally sure here what I choose, but whatever it is, will help improve the team. Or I guess it's the chassis team thing, whatever it is. And here we have unlocked the second sponsor because we reached level 2, and we will be going with Atlantic, I believe, because they have the highest weekly income, and they have a pretty good goal to get, which is pays out pretty high, and you only have to get like complete 75 laps in a race weekend. So that won't be too hard to get to, as we just to kind of scroll through the other options we have. There's a lot of options we can get, so when we unlock the other sponsors, we'll be choosing some another one of these sponsors here. And I believe we'd be choosing Atlantic here, and we're gonna go to the customization tab to put the sponsors onto the car livery. We can choose exactly where we want them to be in certain positions. So we will be adding Atlantic sponsorship to the car. And as I'm doing that, that would basically be the end of this episode. So if you guys did enjoy, please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for episode 2, which will be coming out shortly.
See you outside.